The world watched. America, once a beacon of strength, had lost its way. Weak leadership had eroded our confidence, our enemies grew bolder, our allies questioned our resolve. Then Donald J. Trump took the oath of office. He promised to make America great again. He vowed to put America first. From the moment he stepped into the Oval Office, President Trump faced challenges head-on. He took on China, he renegotiated trade deals. Some scoffed, some doubted, the liberal media ridiculed, but President Trump remained resolute. He knew his strategy. He understood the power of negotiation. He played the long game. The stock market soared to new heights, businesses boomed, jobs returned to American shores, America was winning again. President Trump always understood the power of a strong economy. From the day he took office, President Trump's pro-growth policies, like tax cuts and deregulation, sent a clear message to the world. America was open for business again. The response was electric. The stock market surged to record highs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average shattered record after record. The S&P 500 followed suit, reflecting broad-based growth. These weren't just abstract numbers. They represented real gains for everyday Americans. Retirement accounts swelled. The American dream was back within reach. The mainstream media struggled to explain away the undeniable surge in the markets. Investors, both domestic and foreign, were betting on Trump's America. They saw a leader who understood business. This newfound confidence wasn't limited to Wall Street. Small business owners felt it. Large corporations invested in expansion and hiring. The American economy was roaring back to life. It was about restoring America's standing in the world. The positive effects of the Trump bump weren't confined to the stock market. Unemployment plummeted to record lows. Jobs, once outsourced to foreign countries, were returning to American shores. The manufacturing sector experienced a resurgence. President Trump's policies created a business environment where companies could thrive. The American dream was becoming a reality for millions. President Trump understood the value of trust. He knew that the American people had been let down by career politicians. He took on the tough issues. He confronted China, renegotiated trade deals, and stood up for American interests. He didn't shy away from controversy. He did what he believed was right for America. This unwavering commitment resonated with millions of Americans. They saw a leader who was fighting for them. President Trump's approach to leadership was a refreshing change. He laid out a clear plan and followed through on his promises. Unemployment plummeted to historic lows. Millions of Americans saw more money in their paychecks. He imposed tariffs that forced China to the negotiating table. These were concrete actions that had a real impact on the lives of everyday Americans. The mainstream media tried to paint a different picture of President Trump, but they couldn't ignore the reality on the ground. The American people saw the positive results of President Trump's policies. They saw a stronger economy, more jobs, and higher wages. They saw a leader who was fighting for them. This silent majority made their voices heard at the ballot box. President Trump had a unique ability to connect with the American people. He wasn't a polished politician. He spoke his mind and showed his emotions. This authenticity resonated with millions of Americans. They saw a leader who was genuine and cared about the American people. He listened to their concerns. He fought for them tirelessly. He never lost sight of his core mission to make America great again. For decades, China played by its own rules. Previous administrations allowed this unfair trade to continue. President Trump refused to accept the status quo. He recognized the threat that China posed. He wasn't afraid of a trade war. With bold tariffs, President Trump imposed consequences on China. The days of China reaping the benefits of free trade were over. President Trump stayed focused on his mission to protect American interests. President Trump sought fair and reciprocal trade deals. He believed in free trade, but only if it was fair trade. He entered into negotiations with China from a position of strength. The tariffs began to have their intended effect. Chinese businesses urged their government to reach a deal. President Trump's strategy was working. The world watched as the two economic superpowers went toe-to-toe. China underestimated President Trump's resolve. As the trade war dragged on, the Chinese economy began to wobble. President Trump refused to back down. He wanted a lasting solution that would protect American jobs. Finally, China agreed to negotiate a new trade deal. They realized they couldn't win a trade war against the United States. The news of a potential trade deal sent shockwaves through the global economy. The mainstream media struggled to explain President Trump's diplomatic victory. China agreed to increase its purchases of American goods. For American farmers, the deal offered much-needed relief. For American manufacturers, it promised increased access to the Chinese market. President Trump had secured a better future for American workers. President Trump's belief in American strength extended beyond the negotiating table. He recognized that true prosperity stemmed from empowering American workers and businesses. He set about creating an economic environment where everyone had the opportunity to succeed. He slashed taxes and rolled back stifling regulations. The American economy roared back to life. Businesses responded with a surge in investment and hiring. Consumer confidence soared. A new era of American prosperity had begun. President Trump understood that a strong economy starts with good-paying jobs. He believed that the backbone of America is its hard-working citizens, and that they deserve opportunities to thrive. He knew that when Americans have the opportunity to work and provide for their families, the entire nation benefits. A thriving workforce means stronger communities and a more robust economy. He rejected the notion, peddled by some, that manufacturing jobs were a thing of the past, that these jobs were relics of a bygone era. That America should simply accept its role as a consumer economy, reliant on foreign goods. He saw this as a dangerous path that would weaken the nation. Instead, he championed American manufacturing, recognizing its vital role in creating a strong middle class and ensuring national security. He believed that a nation that makes things is a nation that can stand strong. He imposed tariffs on foreign goods that were being dumped in the American market, leveling the playing field for American businesses, protecting American workers and businesses from unfair competition. This move was aimed at reviving industries that had been decimated by cheap imports. He negotiated trade deals that put American workers first, ensuring that the terms were fair and beneficial to the U.S. economy, opening up new markets for American-made products. The impact was profound, as it allowed American businesses to expand and hire more workers. Jobs that had been shipped overseas began to return to American shores. This reversal marked a significant shift in the economic landscape. Factories that had been shuttered for years roared back to life, their machines humming once again with the activity of American workers, their floors humming with the activity of American workers. This resurgence brought hope and stability to countless communities. The unemployment rate, particularly for minorities and veterans, plummeted to historic lows. This was a testament to the inclusive growth that was being fostered. This wasn't just about bringing back jobs, it was about restoring pride in American craftsmanship and innovation. It was about rekindling the spirit of ingenuity that has always defined America. It was about restoring pride in American craftsmanship and innovation. It was about showing the world that America could still compete and win in the global marketplace. It was about showing the world that America could still compete and win in the global marketplace. It was a declaration of resilience and capability. It was about creating an environment where every American who wanted a good-paying job could find one, where opportunities were abundant and accessible. An environment where hard work was rewarded and the American dream was within reach. This was the vision that drove the economic policies, and the results spoke for themselves. President Trump recognized that America's reliance on foreign oil not only threatened its national security, but also hampered its economic growth. He understood that true energy independence meant harnessing America's vast energy resources, creating jobs and lowering energy costs for American families and businesses. He unleashed American energy production, rolling back burdensome regulations that had stifled the oil and gas industry for decades. He approved pipelines that had been stalled by bureaucratic roadblocks, creating thousands of jobs and ensuring the safe and efficient transport of American energy. He opened up federal lands and waters for energy exploration, tapping into previously inaccessible reserves of oil and natural gas. The results were transformative. America, once heavily reliant on foreign oil imports, became a net energy exporter for the first time in decades. Energy prices plummeted, putting more money back in the pockets of American families and businesses. Thousands of new jobs were created in the energy sector, revitalizing communities across the country. This energy revolution wasn't just about economic prosperity, it was about reclaiming America's destiny as a global superpower. It was about projecting American strength on the world stage, no longer beholden to hostile foreign nations for its energy needs. It was about securing a brighter future for generations to come, a future where America's energy independence fueled its economic growth and global leadership, ensuring a prosperous nation. President Trump's presidency was not without its critics. From the very beginning, his unconventional style and bold decisions sparked intense debates and polarized opinions across the nation. The mainstream media, entrenched in its own biases, painted a distorted picture of his accomplishments, often highlighting the controversies and downplaying the successes. Choosing to focus on controversies rather than the tangible improvements in the lives of everyday Americans. This selective coverage created a narrative that was far from the reality experienced by many. They underestimated the silent majority, the backbone of the nation, the hardworking men and women who saw through the noise and recognized the positive impact of his policies. These were the people who felt the direct benefits of a revitalized economy. They saw an economy revitalized with record-low unemployment, soaring stock markets, and a renewed sense of optimism, and millions of jobs created. The economic policies put in place led to unprecedented growth and opportunities for many. They saw a nation that had regained its footing on the world stage, asserting its strength and independence. No longer content to be taken advantage of in trade deals or bullied by foreign adversaries. The administration's firm stance on international relations redefined America's role globally. They saw a leader who put America first, prioritizing the needs and interests of its citizens above all else, who fought tirelessly for their interests, ensuring that their voices were heard and their concerns addressed, and who delivered on his promises. From economic reforms to judicial appointments, his administration made significant strides. President Trump's legacy will be debated for years to come, with opinions varying widely, but one thing is certain: he fundamentally altered the trajectory of American history. His tenure marked a period of significant change and transformation. He challenged the status quo, disrupted the political establishment, and brought a new perspective to governance, and ushered in a new era of American strength and prosperity. His policies aimed at bolstering the nation's economic and military might. He reminded the world that America is a nation built on the values of hard work, determination, and resilience, and an unwavering belief in its own destiny. This belief has been the cornerstone of the American spirit. He showed that America is not afraid to stand up for its interests, to defend its values, to fight for what is right, and to uphold its principles on the global stage, and to chart its own course in the world. His administration's policies reflected a commitment to national sovereignty and self-determination. He reignited the American spirit, bringing a renewed sense of pride and patriotism, inspiring a new generation to believe in the promise of their nation and to work towards achieving their dreams, and to strive for a brighter future. The legacy of his presidency will continue to influence and inspire for years to come. As President Trump's time in office came to a close, he left behind a nation transformed. His tenure was marked by significant changes that reshaped the very fabric of American society and governance. The seeds of his policies, sown in the fertile ground of American ingenuity and resilience, continued to bear fruit long after he left the Oval Office. These policies were not just short-term fixes, but long-term strategies aimed at revitalizing the American spirit and economy. The American economy, fueled by tax cuts, deregulation, and a renewed sense of optimism, continued to grow, creating jobs and opportunities for all Americans. This economic boom was felt across various sectors, from manufacturing to technology and from small businesses to large corporations. The trade deals he negotiated, once dismissed as impossible, began to reshape the global economic landscape, leveling the playing field for American workers and businesses. These deals opened new markets and brought back industries that had long been outsourced. The energy independence he secured, through a combination of deregulation and bold infrastructure projects, reduced America's reliance on foreign oil and lowered energy costs for American families. This shift not only bolstered the economy, but also enhanced national security. But perhaps most importantly, President Trump left behind a nation united. His leadership fostered a renewed sense of national pride and unity, bringing people together from all walks of life. He reminded Americans of the values that bind them together: faith, family, and freedom. These core principles became the cornerstone of his administration's legacy, resonating deeply with the American populace. He showed them that despite their differences, they are united by a common love of country and a shared belief in the American dream. This message of unity and shared purpose was a powerful force in bridging divides. He inspired a generation to believe that America's best days are still ahead, that the future is bright, and that together they can achieve anything they set their minds to. This inspiration was evident in the renewed vigor and ambition seen across the nation. He ushered in a new American century, one defined by American strength, prosperity, and leadership on the world stage. This new era was characterized by a confident and assertive America, ready to take on global challenges. And as the sun rose on this new era, one thing was clear: America was back, stronger than ever, and ready to lead the world into a brighter future. The dawn of this new American century was a testament to the enduring spirit and resilience of its people.